Most coaches dream of hitting an 83K month because that is $1 million a year run rate. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the step-by-step process that I used to help one of my clients cash collect 83K in one single month. The crazy part is this was 5 months into working with each other, and on the month one, we were at zero. This client came to me not having any income coming in from the mentorship and the coaching program. So we built all of this out. And I want to take you under the hood and expose everything for you so that you can go off and do this for yourself. So I don't want to hold anything back. So this is my client, James. He's in the day trading space. And yes, he has 7K followers now, but this just goes to show you do not need tens of thousands of followers or hundreds of thousands of followers to make big money. All you need is the right marketing message and a strong offer and positioning it in front of the right people, right? So I'm going to take you through exactly how to do this. But when James and I were working with each other, he didn't have 7K, he had like 2, right? So you don't need a large following. So I want to run through the 3 core mistakes that most coaches make that sabotage them and keep them below 10K a month. First, and this is not talked about enough, is market sophistication. The sophistication level that your market is in will determine how hard it is for you to market. If you are in an ultra sophisticated market, it is going to be so difficult to sell, okay? It doesn't matter how good your offer is, it's going to be very difficult to get in front of the right people. So what is sophistication? Sophistication means that the more competition that enters your markets, the more claims that are being made, the more numb your ideal client comes to those claims, right? And they become more skeptical. They become more hesitant. That is why if you're in an ultra sophisticated market, you have to fight against the skepticism and the hesitancy. Now, AI and the just online space has accelerated the rate at which markets get sophisticated, because if someone sees that someone is earning good money, more often than not, competition just floods that market. And you've probably heard the concept of red ocean and blue ocean. Most markets are red oceans right now. So you need to have the right marketing strategies to be able to orient yourself and separate yourself from the competition. If you don't understand where your market is at on the level of sophistication, it is going to be extremely hard. So this is the first thing that most coaches miss and they mistake, and they just go straight into everything else. They start posting content. They're wondering why they don't actually progress. This is why. Everything comes from the sophistication level of your market. So with James, we understood that the trading space is ultra skeptical. People get scammed all the time. There's crypto rug pulls. There's all this shit, right? So globally, and in the US, it is extremely sophisticated, probably a level 4 or 5. There's a lot of competition, there's a lot of gurus, there's a lot of all this stuff. With James, we recognize that we have to position ourselves differently. So we doubled down on the Australian market because the Australian market wasn't as sophisticated as the US. And we actually used this to our advantage, and I'll show you how in a second. But you have to understand, like, if your market is sophisticated, you have to come up with different ways to position yourself separately. The more sophisticated a market gets, the more you have to come up with unique mechanisms, new ways, different opportunities, camouflage the process that you use in a proprietary name, right? All these different marketing strategies. With James, we just doubled down on the Australian market. That reset the sophistication. Now, the next thing that coaches mistake is no counter positioning. Why would people, you're a coach, right? So why would people buy into you if you're not even bought into something yourself? You have to have a vision and a mission that you are getting people to believe in. You have to have something that you are fighting against as well. So James is a very down-to-earth Aussie type guy. He's very Australian, right? And I love that. And so do all of the Aussies. And it counter positions against the US gurus. The US gurus are flashing their penthouses, their cars, their watches, all this stuff, right? And gives off very scammer energy. It doesn't feel like they actually care about their audience and their clients. James is the complete opposite. He's very matter of fact. He pulls out his phone, he chats, he yaps, he talks shit about the US gurus. He relates to the Australians because, trading in Australia is completely different to in the US because you've got to be up at midnight. So there's this whole culture that we built around it, and it created this unique positioning, right? So you as a coach, you need a counter position. You need to have something that's different for you. Is it the way that you do things? Is it the way that your story? Is your story the counter position? Are you fighting against something bigger? Do you have a mission and vision that you're getting your clients to believe in? This is really important. This is the mistake that most coaches make. They just see what other people are doing. They try and do the same. The problem with that is that they're falling into the noise of everyone else. You're not going to get ahead doing that, right? So you need to counter position. Third mistake, this is one of the biggest. You have no bridges. You don't bridge people into your audience. Most coaches think, they listen to everyone else. They say, oh, I need to post content. I need to be consistent. I need to do story sequences that's sharing my story and pitching to a YouTube video. I need to just add as much value and people are going to buy. That is not what happens. People need bridges. People need to be prompted to take action and reach out to you. So if you just think that you post and people are going to reach out to you, that is not the case. You are probably sitting on money right now. Your Instagram probably has money in it. Your DMs definitely have money in it. You need to bridge people. So what do bridges look like? Bridges look like lead magnets, right? It's prompting someone to take action and inquire. Bridges look like a community, a free community. Bridges look like VSLs and free trainings. All these type of things are bridges to get someone to reach out. Do not think that people are just going to reach out or comment or DM you your keyword because you've got it there, or book in your Calendly link in your bio. That is not what happens. They need to be prompted. They need to be asked. You need to build bridges, okay? So the bridges that we built from the content was, we had a free community. So this was on Discord. James already had this. It was ticking away and it was slowly growing. But there was no conversion mechanisms. There wasn't a conversion mechanism when James and I started working with each other. He had content that he was posting and he had somewhat of an audience, but there was none of these bridges or conversion mechanisms. So what we did was we built out a VSL, a video sales letter. On that VSL, it was on a landing page. We had an application underneath. This then prompted people to watch the VSL. The VSL went through the psychological belief chain of prompting them to take action and apply. So the blueprint of a good VSL looks like this. You have to have a pattern interrupt hook. So with James's, it was like something along the lines of, look, I know you're tired of all the US gurus, so we're tapping into the pain and we are going against the grain. It's not like, here, I made $50,000 last night, I want to show you how, right? It's a pattern interrupt. And then what we want to do, the next phase, is have an external reason as to why your audience is experiencing the challenges that they're going through. If you can make your audience feel like it's not their fault and that the reason why they haven't progressed is because of some external factor, external thing that's impacting where they're currently at and causing them to not progress, they're going to buy into that, right? So this is the same as creating a villain and saying, hey, it's not your fault. The reason why you haven't progressed with your trading is because you're learning from these trading gurus, right? They don't understand the Aussie culture. This is what we're doing. We're blaming these guys for the reason why you are not progressing. This is so powerful, guys, so powerful. If you're in the health space, you can blame it on the health system. You can blame it that they haven't been taught something, right? So you blame it on something. Then you reveal your mechanism. And the way that you reveal your mechanism is through your story. So you tell them, hey, I was like you. I was struggling with trading XY. Then I came across this thing. This thing is your unique process. This is how you achieve the results that you currently have. And then you have the outcome that you created, right? Then from there, you offer a call. You say, hey, you want to hop on a call? You do it a bit better than that, but you offer them a call. And then from there, that's the first call to action, to hop on a call, right? Then you go into the cost of inaction. This is the best time to start XYZ. If you don't, like, there's a fork in the road, essentially, is what it's called in marketing. There's a fork in the road. Right now, you have one or two choices. One, you continue on the same path, you try and figure it out yourself, and who knows where you'll end up. Or two, you back yourself, you learn from someone who's been in your shoes, you have a proven system to achieve XYZ result. If that sounds like you and you're ready to skip the guesswork, XYZ, book a call below, right? This is a really powerful blueprint for building out a belief shifting VSL. And this is the results that it created. So we built out this VSL. We were getting calls back to back to back to back. It was like flooding, right? There were so many calls that were coming in, and it was great, right? So the problem with most coaches, again, is that they focus on front-end selling. They focus on marketing as much as possible. Most coaches don't even do that right? Let alone think about the back-end selling. This is where most of the sale is made. So on the front end, people are in scanner mode, right? They're in scanning mode. They're looking for information. They're seeing if what you're offering aligns. Maybe you've tapped into some of the pains and desires that they want. They book a call. From there, they are not sold. That is when the back-end selling system occurs. You have to sell them now on showing up to the call. And once they book, they then flip a switch in their mind and they go to justification mode. They ask themselves, okay, is this even worth showing up for? Should I even show up to this? is there Reddit reviews where I can look at the scam so that I don't have to waste my time on a call, see if it's legit or not, right? They're going to be looking for information. So as coaches, what we need to do is give them the information. So you want to have a post-booking page that has a short video that takes them through the next steps, tells them how to get prepared for the call. Then you have like these short videos, these objection handling videos that answer common questions. So if you have something that you're experiencing on your sales calls over and over and over again, turn that into a 30-second video that answers that question. So then they can watch it themselves. They don't have to go out and try and find it, right? So people bias towards energy conservation. They want to conserve their energy. And I learned a lot of this stuff from a guy named Jeremy Haynes. He's great. So maybe go watch some of his videos as well. But I'm condensing it down for you. It's the same thing. This is so powerful. You want to pre-handle objections before the calls, right? So you want to have client results and then offer breakdown as well, right? Now, when we did this, we created the bridge of the VSL from his organic, and we actually had a conversion mechanism now in place. James had $60,000 sitting in his freaking audience. We had this conversion mechanism. We booked, I don't know how many calls we booked, but we had an 82% show rate, 53% close rate, and 60K is what we created. Isn't that insane? That was sitting in his DMs, just organically. That was off the launch. This is why bridges matter. You are probably losing money right now by not having a bridge. You're probably waiting for people to reach out. You're probably relying on referrals. It's not going to get you to these big months. You have to ask. You have to create bridges to extract the money from your audience, right? So that is what that looks like. Then we wanted to add fuel to the fire. James was hesitant around ads. He didn't want to be the ads guy. Like I said earlier, he's a down-to-earth Aussie, very casual. He doesn't want to be that guy that's pushing ads down people's throats. I had to shift his mindset around this. I said, bruz, all ads are the exact same as organic. It's the exact same thing. All we are doing is putting money behind the organic to manufacture and push it out to people. It's the exact same thing, right? And then that flipped a switch. He was like, holy heck, that is so true. It's just the same thing. I'm not like pitching anyone. I'm just having an ad and putting it in front of people and attracting them. So ads are so powerful and it is necessary. It's not about organic or ads. It's about doing organic and ads. Organic, you are relying on the algorithm. It is so slow. It's unpredictable. You're waiting for people to land on your page and then follow. It's a headache. It is necessary. It's 100% necessary. You need to have a good foundation. You need to have a good page. You need to have organic content going out consistently. I love organic content. In terms of like rapidly scaling, it is very difficult unless you have a huge personal brand. So ads amplify organic. Now, the way that we set up the ad campaign for James is very simple. We had one ad campaign, one ad set, 10 ads inside of it. Now, the reason why this worked so well was because Meta has a different algorithm for their ads. Because you are putting money behind it, Meta is incentivized to try and figure out how to get you the result that you're looking for so that you can keep spending money on Meta. Right? So they have a completely different algorithm. And this way then you can post content that is going to be trained on finding the people that you are looking for. That is the goal with it. You want to train your algorithm. So we did this. We ran ads. You can see we've just got very simple content style ads here. And we got, I think it was like 110 calls or something. Quick math. Yeah, somewhere around that. And like it was like a $16 on average call. Absolutely insane. Not very common. It has increased now a bit, but this was just insane to start off with, especially in a space like this. We were getting back-to-back calls all the time. It was crazy, right? It was so much fun. And then from there, the reasons why the ads worked, like I said, was because we were training Meta's algorithm. So the only people that we shot back to Meta's algorithm to say, hey, we want more people like this, were people that had the ability to invest. So they filled out the application form and they had a process where they were asked, how much are you willing to invest? We framed the question much better than that. These weren't the actual questions. These were just like the summary questions that got sent through to Slack. But like one of the questions was framed around like, how much are you willing to invest essentially? And people were saying 2 to 4K. And then the next one was 4 to 6K or 4 to 5K or something like that. So the only people that we sent back to Meta to find more people like them were people that were financially qualified that said they had 2 to 4K. Everyone else on the application form that said they weren't in the position to invest got redirected to the free community, right? So now they're being nurtured, they're in the ecosystem, and they'll upsell in the future to the higher ticket program. So this was so powerful. We were training the algorithm. Then from there, like we said, we trained the algorithm and we placed a closer. So business is all about systems, right? If you're trying to scale and you're doing everything yourself, you are going to be low leveraged, you're going to burn out, and you're capping yourself. You're capping yourself by trying to do everything yourself. So we added a closer to manage these calls. From there, that led to us collecting 82K, it was 83K in cash, and had over 110 calls booked, $16 per qualified call, 50% show rate, 28% close rate. We were absolutely cooking. It was so much fun. Now, the reason why this was able to happen was because I, as a business owner and as a coach and helping coaches scale, understand leverage. Leverage is how you scale. So there are 4 pillars of leverage. This is a concept from Naval Ravikant. I love this. This is so helpful as a coach. So you have labor as a pillar of leverage. You can see it as like a triangle like this. The bottom one, labor. Labor is people, right? So you can have a closer, you can have a DM setter, you can have a video editor, you can have an accountant, right? All these different ways that you can outsource your time through labor. Another pillar of leverage is money or capital. So you can use your money as a tool to run ads so that you film your content once, you push that content out to more people through using the tool of money. Instead of just relying on the algorithm where you have to post more content over and over and over again, it's slow, it's low leverage, right? Money as a tool. You can also use money to hire better people. You can use money to get your ads edited. You can use money for anything, right? So money is a pillar of leverage. Another one is code. So setting up the actual systems and automations and understanding how to actually fire information back to Meta to find more people like that, to qualify people, to have everything syncing, have sales end of day tracking forms, having tracking management systems. All of this is code, right? That's another pillar of leverage. That saves my time from trying to manage everything myself, or for James to manage everything himself. Next pillar of leverage is media. So this is like, for example, for James, the back-end course material, YouTube videos, content, ads. You film something once, you can repurpose it, and it's an asset. It stays up, especially YouTube and courses material and everything. They're such an asset. So these are the 4 pillars of leverage that you need to have in the back of your mind all the time so that you can get out of the trenches as a coach and actually start to scale, right? So that is the goal with being a coach. Like, I'm sure you got into coaching not to be low leverage, not to just slog away. And you probably thought, I want to get into this because I have a skill set and I want to help other people with this skill set. The problem with that is that business and running a coaching business, 2/3 of it is marketing and sales. You could have the best program, but if you don't have anyone to sell it to, then you don't have a program, right? So marketing and sales is the most important thing. You probably didn't get into it to start being a marketer and a salesperson, right? But it's necessary. Unless you have the right systems in place where you can outsource your time. The goal for most coaches is to step into that founder, into that visionary, to move their clients towards the vision that you're getting them to buy into, right? To be high leveraged and to have a high cash flow business. All of that can only be implemented with the right systems. So that is exactly why I help coaches do exactly this. I am doubling down on helping coaches scale through AI. I'm diving into Claude Code. I'm setting up automations and processes, deploying it all into my coaching clients' businesses so that they can focus on these higher leverage tasks, right? We also help with placing talent like closers and setters if needed as well. Got a number of clients that are doing that too. So if you want to learn how to install these systems and grow your business so that you can finally get out of the trenches and actually enjoy what you're doing and hit these record months, book a call below. We can have a chat, see if it makes sense. Hopefully you enjoyed. That is everything under the hood of what I've done to help James with scaling to 83K in a single month. And yeah, if you've got any questions, reach out on Insta, like, comment, share, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.